Picture this: narrow streets, cold asphalt, and the scream of a flat-six engine bouncing off concrete walls. You are behind the wheel of a Porsche 911. You think you have the ultimate getaway car, engineering perfection, racing pedigree. You think you are faster than anything the police can throw at you. But you are wrong. In a high-speed city chase, the very things that make a Porsche 911 a legend on the track turn it into a high-velocity pendulum designed to kill you. This is not about horsepower. This is about physics, geometry, and a design flaw that Porsche has been fighting for over 60 years. Today we are stripping away the marketing hype to look at the cold, hard engineering of why this car is a liability when the sirens start wailing. The primary reason a 911 is dangerous in a city environment is the engine placement. While every other supercar moved the engine to the middle for balance, Porsche kept it hanging off the back, behind the rear axle. Think of it like a hammer. If you hold a hammer by the head, it is easy to control. If you hold it by the handle and swing it, the heavy head carries massive momentum. In a tight city turn, that engine acts like the head of that hammer. This creates what engineers call a high polar moment of inertia. On a wide-open racetrack, you can manage this. But in a city, where turns are 90 degrees and lanes are narrow, that heavy rear end wants to keep traveling in a straight line while the front of the car is trying to turn. When you lift off the throttle in panic, the weight shifts forward, the rear tires lose their grip, and the car snaps. It is called lift-off oversteer. 1 second you are driving, the next second you are a passenger in a spinning piece of German steel, heading straight for a lamppost. But let us go deeper into the mechanics of a chase. In an urban environment, you are not driving on a flat, prepared surface. You are dealing with variable friction. One tire might be on dry asphalt, while the other is on a wet manhole cover or a patch of spilled diesel. In a front-engine car, if the rear loses grip, it is usually progressive. In a 911, because 60% of the weight is over the back, when the grip breaks, it breaks violently. There is no warning. There is no slide you can catch with a bit of counter steer. It is a mathematical certainty that the heavy rear will try to overtake the front. Historically, this earned the Porsche 930 Turbo the nickname the Widowmaker. In the 1970s and 80s, turbochargers were primitive. You would press the gas, nothing would happen for 2 seconds, and then suddenly, 300 horsepower would hit the rear wheels all at once. Imagine that in a city alleyway. You are trying to modulate your speed between trash cans and brick walls. The turbo spools up unexpectedly, and suddenly your rear tires are spinning at 9,000 revolutions per minute while you are still mid-corner. It was a recipe for disaster then, and with today's 500-plus horsepower engines, it is even more lethal now. Now, let us talk about the city itself. Cities are not smooth. They have potholes, manhole covers, and steep curbs. A 911 is designed with a very short wheelbase. This makes it incredibly agile, yes, but it also makes it nervous. At high speeds, every small bump in the road is magnified. If you hit a mid-corner bump while fleeing at 100 miles per hour, the short wheelbase means both the front and rear suspension are disrupted almost simultaneously. The car skips. On a highway, you might recover. Between 2 rows of parked cars and brick buildings, there is zero margin for error. Consider the suspension geometry. A 911 is set up for mechanical grip through corners. It uses a McPherson strut front and a multi-link rear. This setup is perfect for the Nürburgring, but on a city street, this suspension has very limited travel. When you are in a chase, you are not taking the racing line. You are cutting corners, hitting drainage dips, and jumping over intersections. A standard police interceptor has long travel suspension designed to soak up these impacts. The Porsche, its suspension will bottom out. When a suspension bottoms out, the energy is transferred directly to the chassis, which bounces the entire car off the ground. For a split second, you have zero steering, zero braking, and zero hope. Then there is the issue of cooling and vulnerability. Look at the front of a modern 911. Those massive air intakes are not for show. They feed the radiators. In a city chase, debris is everywhere. Plastic bags, cardboard boxes, or even a small piece of a broken bumper from another car. If you suck any of that into those low-mounted intakes, your engine starts overheating within minutes. Unlike a truck or a rugged sedan, the Porsche has no plan B for cooling. One minor collision with a trash can can puncture a radiator, and your high-performance getaway car becomes a stationary piece of art. We also have to consider the braking paradox. Porsche has the best brakes in the world: 6-piston calipers, massive carbon ceramic rotors. They can stop you from 60 miles per hour in less than 100 feet. But in a city chase, this is a liability. Why? Because the cars chasing you do not have those brakes. If you slam on the anchors to make a tactical turn, the 2-ton police cruiser behind you is going to plow into your rear end at full speed. Because your engine is sitting right there in the back, a single rear-end collision does not just dent your bumper. It crushes your cooling system, snaps your transaxle, and shoves the engine into the cabin. You have effectively used your own engine as a crumple zone. Visibility is another silent killer. In a city, information is everything. You need to see over the car in front of you to anticipate traffic. But in a 911, you are sitting centimeters off the ground. Your field of view is blocked by every sport utility vehicle and delivery van on the road. You are driving blind. You cannot see the spike strips being laid 3 cars ahead. You cannot see the pedestrian stepping off the curb. You are trapped in a low-profile capsule while the police, sitting high in their cruisers, have a bird's-eye view of your inevitable failure. Let us talk about the PIT maneuver. This is the primary tactic used by law enforcement to end a chase. They tap your rear quarter panel to make you spin. In a front-heavy car, this is actually difficult to pull off perfectly. But a 911 is a pit maneuver's dream. Because all the weight is in the back, the moment a police car touches that rear corner, the momentum of the engine helps the spin. The car's own weight works against the driver, swinging the rear around like a wrecking ball. Once that spin starts, the low ground clearance means the tires can easily catch on a curb, flipping the car over. The history of urban crashes involving these cars is a long list of overconfidence. Drivers believe the car's reputation will save them. They trust the mechanical grip of the wide rear tires, but city streets are not a track. They are covered in a thin film of oil, dust, and moisture. On a track, tires stay hot and sticky. In a stop-and-go chase, your tires heat up unevenly. One hard acceleration, one frantic brake maneuver, and your tire temperatures are all over the place. The car becomes unpredictable. In the famous bank robberies of the 1980s in Europe, professional getaway drivers often avoided exotics. They preferred the BMW 5 Series or the Mercedes-Benz 19E. Why? Because a front-engine, rear-wheel drive sedan is predictable. It understeers. It pushes wide. It tells you it is dying before it kills you. The 911 lies to you. It feels planted. It feels like it has infinite grip, right up until the millisecond it doesn't. It lures you into taking a corner at 60 miles per hour that the street cannot handle, and then it punishes you for your arrogance. Furthermore, there is the issue of the transmission. Modern 911s use the PDK dual clutch system. It is the fastest gearbox in the world, but it is also incredibly fragile when subjected to the chaotic stresses of an urban escape. Constant shifting, high heat launches, and sudden transitions from reverse to drive while the car is still moving can cause the electronics to go into limp mode. In a race, you just go to the pits. In a chase, limp mode means you are going to jail. To survive a city chase, you need a car that can absorb punishment, maintain visibility, and forgive mistakes. The Porsche 911 does none of these things. It is a precision instrument, a scalpel. And you don't bring a scalpel to a sledgehammer fight. When the sirens are wailing and the streets are closing in, the 911 isn't your escape pod. It is a beautiful, expensive rear-engine coffin. The physics do not care about the badge on the hood. They do not care about the legacy of Le Mans. In the concrete jungle, weight distribution is destiny. And for the 911, that destiny is usually a pile of shattered glass and twisted aluminum on a city sidewalk. You are not outrunning the law. You are just accelerating the moment the laws of physics catch up with you.